Hey everybody. Well, today we are going to take a look at the brand new LEGO UCS R2-D2 set. So this set just came out on May 1st, and it is set number 75308, and it has 2,314 pieces. So this box is absolutely massive and huge. And so this is an upgraded version of the UCS R2 that came out back in 2012. So you can see here that it has a much more smoothed down head, and the body looks a little more rounded. And they've added a few new features to this R2. I think they've improved the middle leg function, which would be a vast improvement over the original. And it just looks like a really amazing set overall. On the back of the box here, we can see that the functionality of the head has some new stuff going on here. Now, his head does turn like the original, but we now have Luke's lightsaber that can be stored in R2's head in this little compartment, which is really cool. Also, you have a new periscope function right here that pops up like we saw in Empire Strikes Back when R2 is down inside that bog. And then we also have some more arms that pop out. Now that functionality is just like the 2012 version, but there's slight changes there. And then we also have this special 50 Lucasfilm, 50th anniversary brick that R2 stands on the stand, which is this down here. So that's really cool. That's a printed piece. And then we also have just some functionality with his arms. And then on the bottom we have screen grabs from each trilogy of the movie, which is really, really cool. All right, well, let's take a look at what the parts look like inside. All right, so the bags are numbered up to 13, and there is a ton of parts in this set. It is a big set. And there are 16 total bags because of the multiples. You know how they do like 2 number 4s and stuff like that. And then you also get these interesting little pieces. I have seen these before in other sets, but you do get 2 of them for the main frame for R2. So yeah, quite a bit of parts to this set. Thankfully, I actually got an instruction book that wasn't mangled and bent. And on the inside here, there's some very interesting information about Mr. D2, including all this. And you can pause the video and read all this. Down here, hopefully the reflection isn't messing that up. Looks like that was the designer. Then on this page, talks about the actual model here. So you can read all that. Shows the R2-D2. There's some cool pictures of one of the R2-D2 props and one of his little arms right there. Over here, some more information. Size matters not. I love that. That's really cool. There's some stuff there. And then his friendship with 3PO. You can read all that there too. Another cool picture when he broke those chains. And then there's some cool information here about the actual R2-D2 props. There's a few of them right there. Here you can see that they are working on one of the 3-legged robot versions. And the late Kenny Baker, who played the 2-legged R2-D2, you could always tell because he had his little leg covers down here where he stuck his legs through. Really cool. And this is really neat. Look how many R2-D2s are right there that they made. They're all working on them. I bet that was a fun job. I would have loved to have been an R2-D2 technician. All right, well, I guess I'll get started on this set. I forgot to show you that there is one sticker in this entire set. Yay! Just one sticker. I love it. And that is the plaque, and you can read all the info right there about our little 3-legged friend, and sometimes 2. All right, so I just want to show this pretty intricate and ingenious mechanism for the middle leg here. So you have rubber band powered stuff here again, but what it is this whole thing, you can see how the leg doesn't come down at this point, but then this part right here, let me see if I can do this, it flips down, see, with the mechanism. And then that way the leg can now fully come down here like this. You can see it extend. And you can feel it pull up. And then when it comes down here, see how that locks in place? And now that keeps the leg in the down position like that. And then you can push it back up like this. And now this thing can go back in like that. And then you'll see it click back in. And now it stays in the up position. So that is an absolutely ingenious mechanism. I don't know how these designers figure this stuff out, but man, that is really cool. All right, I kind of wondered how that was going to work, so that's really awesome. All right, so bag number 3 finishes up this amazing technical ingenuity right here. So this is, you can see how this whole thing is built. So the core of the leg is down inside there, that part that I just showed you, and this is quite the elaborate little build, I gotta tell you, and it's pretty strong. It's a very nice, strong section in here. That's the main core for R2. There's that middle leg right there. So yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty crazy looking thing right here. You can see how this looks. So yeah, that's pretty neat. All right, looks like I'm going to start building his back or something. Oh, maybe it's the sides. All right, very cool. Okay, so I want to show you how this amazing mechanism works for the middle leg. It's way better than the 2012 version. So like the original 2012 one, these feet, well, when you pick it up, see how they kind of stay down? Well, that's necessary to shift the body forward. But now watch that mechanism in the middle. Once you move it forward, see how that just drops the leg down? And now you can put the side feet down like this, and now R2 is now in the three-legged position like that. Okay, so now what you got to do is to get the leg to go back up, to lock it in place. Watch this mechanism here in the middle. So once you lift this and move this more towards, move the legs forward. See how that moves that thing forward like that? Now you can lock this middle leg back up. If I can get a grip of it, like this, and then it'll lock it in like that. So it's really, really cool. However they figure that out, I don't know, but I think that is absolutely ingenious how they figured that out. And it's just really cool. I just love how that goes back up like that. And now you can lock the foot back up again. So yeah, that is a vast improvement over the 2012 version, and it's really cool. It still looks like he can still kind of wobble back and forth like he did, you know, how he walked. So yeah, that's an amazing, amazing feat of engineering right there. Okay, so I'm on the home stretch now, and I just wanted to show you before this gets all sealed up. This little piece here is the little periscope thing that pops up out of R2-D2's head. So I want to show you how it works. It's actually a very simple mechanism. So when you pull this up, you can see that little blue piece right there. All you do is when you turn it, it locks right there. It just sits on that little shelf. So that makes it go down, and you turn it so that it goes right here, and then that way it stays up. I do wish it came up a little higher though. I kind of think it doesn't come up high enough. But yeah, it's a very simple mechanism, but it totally works. It's really cool. All right, here he is, all complete now, and oh my gosh, this R2 looks amazing. I absolutely love this R2-D2. And so I gotta say, on May 1st, so I went to the Lego store on May 1st because that's when this came out, and so it's part of their May the 4th celebration going on, and oh my gosh, there had to have been at least 50 people in line to get little R2-D2 here. He's so popular, and so I've never seen that many people in line at the Lego store, and I guess the website even crashed. They were overwhelmed from people trying to order this set, and they're already sold out on the website too. So this was, like I said, part of the May the 4th promo, and you also got a gift with purchase of the Tatooine homestead, and also a poly bag of the Imperial shuttle. So I think that was another part of the popularity of this. Also, you got double VIP points, which was great. So anyway, so I'll show you those two freebies here in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you the overall look. So this is very similar to the original 2012 version R2-D2, which I did a review on. You can check that video out. But he's also very different, and I do love how they've made him look much more smoother and rounder, and just try to kind of clean up some of the harsh edges that were on him. On the original, of course, that was 9 years ago, so they've got nicer new pieces now to do that. So let's take some close-ups of this little guy, and we can see all his little details. All right, so let's start with the plaque first. So right down here, you can see all this info, which I think I showed you earlier, and you can kind of read that. You can pause the video and read all this info about little R2 here. And then this is what's really cool. A lot of people want this piece. It's a special brick that was done for the 50-year anniversary of Lucasfilm. So that would probably date back to the THX 1138 days and American Graffiti, stuff like that. Unfortunately, the R2-D2 figure that comes with this is the same old one that we've had for so long. They really need to give R2 an update here, maybe some better legs or maybe a middle leg, and definitely put some printing on the back. He's had no printing on his back for years. So let's take a look at R2-D2 himself. Let's start with one of his side legs here. So this is somewhat the same, or pretty much the same as the original 2012 version. But, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I am going to do a comparison video between this one and the 2012 one so that we can kind of see what the differences are. But yeah, the legs are virtually the same, but you'll notice, now in my 2012 review video, if you'll remember, I switched these because the bolts should be on the front of R2's legs, and on the 2012 version, my OCD kicked in and I went ahead and made some modifications on here so I could make the bolts go on the front. But in this one, they got it right. They put the bolts in the front. So thank you to Lego for noticing that. Not all of the R2s had the bolts in the front, but the vast majority of them did. Down here, more fantastic detail, and it looks just like R2. I mean, they really got the details in there really, really good. And you can even see those grills right there because he has those lines. But yeah, that looks really good. This piece is a different piece than they used on the original. They are using the same cables, but these look more gold. And these ones also attach better than the original. One thing I think they kind of screwed up, though, is on this power box back here, this little battery box, there should be two of those things. It's like a silver and blue thing down there. There should be two of them, and they only put one. So I thought that was kind of odd that they chose not to do that. But it still looks good. They also got this part here that looks right. They still put the nice little kind of like grill pieces that are on his feet. There's the bottom leg. And this leg is the same as well. Starting down here with his bottom foot, we can see all that going on there. They even have the little tank-like things down here. That looks pretty good. This was a new way that they did it. This was originally a different piece that they used for that, and the whole build is slightly different. I mean, you can see how much rounder he is. He looks pretty round, considering, you know, it's hard for Lego to get something round like this in this scale. The other thing I'm glad they fixed is they only had 5 coin slots on the original R2. They put the correct number of coin slots on there, number 6. Since the original R2-D2s actually had vending machine parts on them, so these were actually the coin slots from a vending machine, and this was actually the coin return where your change would come out. So it's pretty funny that R2 was actually made up of some vending machine parts. So the only thing that I think looks a little off is these vents. If you look on the side, see how much they stick out? On R2-D2, his vents don't stick out like that. So I thought that was kind of odd that they chose to kind of go with that kind of a build, but it was still interesting. Now these doors, you can actually open these manually like this. And there is his little utility arm in there, and there's another one here. But there's also a function that will make these open, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But yeah, you can actually open those. And then this is pretty cool. I always like when they have his utility arms open up here. So these ones cut, and you saw him use these in some of the movies, but there's some detail down in there, and they actually added some detail here. So I thought that looked really good. So I like when they include these little arms sticking out here. All right, so let's take a look at the back. They did a really good job of cleaning up the back here too. On the original, there was this ugly switch right here that operated the middle leg, but now they've kind of rounded it out and made it, you know, just more like he's supposed to look. He has another one of those pieces there and a couple more of the coin return pieces down here. And here's the back of the legs. And they leave just enough studs showing to show you that it is a Lego set. Although I think it would have been kind of cool to maybe make that smooth, the whole thing kind of smooth. But yeah, that looks really good. Here's the little controls for these. Now let me show you how this works. So what you do is you just push these in. So let me push this in, and you'll see that when you do, see how the door flips open? And now you've got yourself one of these little computer control units that he had. And then on this side, there's another one. So we push this in, and that one opens up. And now he's got another tool right here, which is really cool. And you can actually extend these out too. So it's kind of a two-handed operation to pull these out because they're really tight. So I had to kind of pull those out to show you. But they can extend, and you can push them back in too, which is, I think, probably another two-handed operation there. But yeah, it's really cool that they have that feature in there. And when you're ready to retract these little arms, they just fold back up like this. You just do it manually. And then you just close the doors. But they work really smooth. So yeah, that's a nice little operation that they have for that. looking at R2's head now, it looks very much the same as the original, but now we've got these nice smoothed down edges up here. And it still has the, the layering like it did, but I guess that's kind of the only way they could really do it until they come up with even more pieces. But there's his little red eye, his holographic projector there. There's that sensor that's up there on the top. And this time they decided not to use those light blue pieces in here to kind of show the iridescent blue. And I think that's fine. I think it looks just fine the way it is. There's that light back there that they did it in blue, but it's usually a yellow and green light that blinks back and forth. Another holographic projector there, and then those little bumps that are on the back of his head. And those are the little logic lights that are multicolored back there. And they have the logic lights on the front here, which actually I think have some blue pieces in there, but with no light coming out from behind it, you can't really see it. But it's kind of cool. All right, let me show you the detail at the top of his head. So on the top here, I had to loosen this piece so I could show you this, but this is the little panel, and you wouldn't even know it's there. That's what's cool about the way they did it. So you can see that inside there is Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. So you can actually just pull this out. So let me see if I can get it out of here. And there it is. It looks like his Return of the Jedi version lightsaber right there, which is really cool. Now, I think it would have been cool maybe if they had some kind of spring mechanism that made it, either pop completely out or just make it pop up further so you don't have to dig it out of there. But there is a compartment down in there if you can kind of see it. And it was kind of an interesting build just to make that little compartment, which I thought was kind of interesting the way they did it. So yeah, but you just kind of fit it back in here like this. And yeah, it goes back in. And then this piece here, it's only held on by just the one stud right there. So it makes it a little easier to take this off. I did forget to mention that his head turns and it's very smooth. Very nice smooth mechanism there. And then on this side, this is where that little radar thing is. I don't know what you'd call it. It's kind of like his second eye that we saw in Empire Strikes Back when he falls into that bog. And then he's making those funny sounds, but there it is. That's a really cool little thing right there. So as I mentioned, I kind of wish it was I wish it went up a little higher, but I can understand why they didn't, because then the post that's holding that up would go too far down in there, and then his head probably wouldn't turn. So, but yeah, it's pretty neat how that works, and I showed you how that stays up with that mechanism in there. You just turn it, and it drops back down in place. So those are two features that they did not have on the original R2. For you eagle-eyed viewers, I did do one small modification on this little R2. Did you guys happen to catch what it was? I'll show you what it is. On the box here, there was one thing that I noticed that looked strange, and I don't know why this stood out to me, but it did. But it's right down here. See that little sensor that he has? It looks like they forgot to put a piece there. It's almost like, why did they just leave 3 studs showing and then have this sensor kind of sticking out like that? So I don't know why, but it just bothered me, and I decided I wanted to just do a slight modification to make that better. So all I did to kind of clean that up a little bit was just to add 3 tiles right there to make it look a little more finished. So I tried some cheese wedge pieces, the 1x1 cheese wedges, and make it, angled this way, but it made this look like it was too deep. So I just went ahead and went with the tiles. I didn't have any 1x2 or 1x3 white plates, so I did have a bunch of these extra 1x1s, and I just think it just looks more finished. I don't know why, but those studs were bothering me down there. And then on this side, there's another one back here. You can just kind of see where I put those 3 in there behind his foot. Let me see if you can see it from this side. Well, his leg is covering it. So yeah, so I used 6 of these 1x1 white studs. I don't know, it just looks better. I don't know. When you're building stuff like this, your mind wanders about stuff like that, so oh well. Okay, so I want to show you the amazing middle leg function, which has been vastly improved over the original. So to make the leg go up, you just pull him up like this, and then get the legs to come forward, the side legs to come forward. And when you do that, if you'll recall the mechanism that I showed you, how it flips up, well, that's what it did just now. So now you can just push the middle leg up, and it locks in place. So there you have him in the 2-legged position, and he's sturdy. He's a little wobbly, but like in the movie, how he would, when Kenny Baker was inside, he'd kind of do that little waddle, which is pretty cool. And so then when you want to put him back in the 3-legged position, you just lift him up, push his body forward, and the leg just drops right out, And then we got to get these back legs, or the side legs I should say, down properly. And there we go. So now he's back in the three-legged position. I guess you could push his body a little bit more forward. But yeah, I mean, this is so much better. It's a huge improvement over the original, because the original, there we go. The original just didn't seem like, it was just a constant fight with that. So I'll show you that in the comparison video. So there we have it, the brand new LEGO UCS R2-D2 set. So this set came out on May 1st of 2021. And right now he's sold out because of the popularity, which I think LEGO vastly underestimated. But yeah, I'm sure they'll get him back in stock pretty soon. But yeah, this is a really awesome R2-D2. And he is definitely an improvement over the original 2012 one. But yeah, this one looks really good. Some newer functions on him. And better functions too. So he's $200 at the LEGO store, LEGO Online, and I don't know if the stores are going to be carrying him like Target or Walmart, but they might show up there too. Target especially, they've been carrying a lot of sets that I never thought that they would ever carry, so I've been seeing a lot of great sets there. Alright, well anyway, that's it for this review, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a like, and also please subscribe. I'd also appreciate that. And so I will do a comparison video between this one and the old one, and stay tuned for that. So until then, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.